blood is thicker than water, but when money is involved, even blood can run cold. This is the story of the Moreno family, a name once associated with love, legacy, and success, until greed turned them into enemies. Carlos Moreno had everything he ever dreamed of: a thriving real estate business, a beautiful mansion overlooking the hills, and 3 children he adored more than anything else in the world. David, the eldest, was the proud one, driven by ambition, but quietly jealous of his father's success. Lucia, the only daughter, was calm and gentle, the heart of the family. And Miguel, the youngest, was charming and carefree, but always in debt, always chasing something more. For years, Carlos believed his family was unbreakable. But when illness came knocking, the cracks began to show. As his health declined, Carlos spent more time reflecting on the empire he built and the people he would leave behind. He called Lucia to his bedside one night. The air was heavy, and his voice was weak. "Promise me," he said, "you'll keep the business alive. It's my life's work, and your brothers will need you." Lucia nodded through her tears. She promised. Carlos smiled faintly, unaware that those words, that promise, would seal her fate. A few days later, Carlos passed away peacefully. But the calm that followed was only the silence before the storm. When the will was read, the room filled with tension. The lawyer spoke slowly, carefully. The estate, worth nearly $5 million, was to be divided equally among the 3 siblings. But the business, the crown jewel of the Moreno Empire, would go to Lucia. David's face froze. Miguel's jaw tightened. The air grew thick with resentment. "Of course," David muttered under his breath. "The golden child gets everything." Lucia looked at him, hurt in her eyes. "It's not about money, David. It's about keeping his dream alive." But no one was listening. The seed of bitterness had already been planted. Weeks turned into months, and what started as whispered arguments soon became open hostility. David stopped showing up to family meetings. Miguel, desperate for cash, began pressuring Lucia to sell the business, to split it fairly. But Lucia stood firm. "This is what Father wanted," she repeated again and again. She believed she was doing the right thing. She never realized that, to her brothers, she was no longer family. She was an obstacle. One cold March night, Lucia received a call from Miguel. His voice was shaky. "Lucia, please, we need to talk. David's been drinking again. He wants to make peace. Can you come to Dad's old house? Just for a few minutes." Lucia hesitated. The tension had grown unbearable lately, but she loved her brothers. Despite everything, she believed in forgiveness. She said she'd be there in 10 minutes. It would be the last promise she ever kept. The next morning, a jogger passing by the old Moreno mansion noticed something odd: a car parked by the gate.